Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Smart Tank Revolution, where we always kick out at 2. It is Sunday night. I am your solo host, and I have just finished the closing moments of NXT Heatwave, the latest PLE from the WWE on this wrestling weekend. And I got to say, kudos. This is how you do it. This is how you close a show. I've heard the grumblings and rumblings, and unfortunately Donnie is not here tonight, so you will not be able to be graced with our lovely banter and incredible wit, but I'll do the best I can to give you a summation of the main event, because really that's what this pay-per-view, or PLE, sorry, I'm never going to get used to that, is what it's all about. And I've got to say, this was played to perfection. Fatal 4-Ways can sometimes be a slog. They can be uneventful. They can just be formulaic. This was fantastic. This was a Formula One car race from start to finish. This never slowed down. The pace from the opening bell and the entrances and the introductions, it just kept picking up and kept increasing. But while that is being said, if you can hear the music in the background, it's just because the PLE wrapped. We are celebrating the win and crowning of the new NXT champion, All Ego Ethan Page. And I gotta be honest, I didn't see this. I wanted it. Well, I half-hearted wanted it, because Trick has been doing an amazing job carrying the black and gold brand. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. He has completely stepped out of Carmelo's shadow. I would even say that he's better than Carmelo. Even though Melo's on the main roster, he's got a ways to go. But Trick has just been stellar since Stand and Deliver. But yeah, this was interesting because this was unlikely. And that's sometimes the best part of wrestling is, you don't want to be able to predict everything. It's fun being in the know. It's our tagline. And it's fun being a smark. It's fun having that intricate knowledge that immerses you into the product more. But it's also very fun to be completely surprised and completely wrong. And this was a weekend of completely wrong for me. Now, it's not fun when you're always wrong, but, pepper it in here and there. It's a welcome little surprise. And I honestly didn't think they would have the guts to go with Ethan Page as champ and derail Trick this soon. I figured the Fatal 4-Way was a really good way to get everyone looking strong, everyone booking safe, and keep Trick at the helm of the NXT ship. But they didn't. They actually went and, well, who would know, put a Canadian over in Canada. I mean, that's a novelty that doesn't always happen unless you're Sami Zayn lately. I'm a little flabbergasted, but I'm not mad at it. I am a little sad for Trick. I want to see where he's going. I'm hoping this is not a precursor to him being called up to the main roster, because I think that would be a gigantic mistake. He's swimming very well in the NXT pond right now. He does not need to go up in the WWE ocean. I think he needs a little more time, and he is something special. They don't need to rush it. So I'm interested to see where it's going. However, this match featured 4 people with my rambling. All Ego Ethan Page, Chairman Sean Spears, who the crowd was chanting 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 for Ty Dillinger. And that's what I would love for him to go back to. Unpopular opinion or not, let me know in the comments below and all that jazz, because I don't like the current gimmick. I don't know. It just doesn't hit the mark. And then somebody who made a fan out of me tonight, who I have been very critical of, very much a detractor of, Javon Evans. The kid's 20 years old, and he might be a wonderkind. He really might be. He is doing stuff that you would be used to seeing Will Ospreay do, with a lot of experience and a lot of, wear and tear on his body and traveling the world. This kid is just killing it. I mean, he's not a promo whiz. Not everyone is, and that's okay. But there's something about him. He really connects with the audience. He knows his cues are great. His wrestling knowledge is great. His ring awareness is fantastic. And he's just smooth as silk in the ring. It's crazy. For a kid his size, a kid his age, He's in there hanging with, heavyweights. He's hanging with seasoned veterans, even though they're on NXT. NXT is nothing to sneeze at. They are the WWE's third brand, as far as I'm concerned. And he didn't just hang. He carried a lot of the match tonight. The story was really interesting because Fatal 4-Ways, obviously the champ doesn't have to be involved in the decision. But usually Fatal 4-Ways, like, triple threats are formulaic. It's usually the matches between two people carried and one of the competitors or the wrestlers get knocked out of the action for a while. Then they come in, they switch places, and it's a back and forth. It's a tug of war in that kind of situation. Tonight, everyone was in the action. There really was no lulls. There was no one sitting out. They were all involved from start to finish. And there was some sick, crazy bumps. There was also some really questionable risks. I give them a lot of credit for trying, but if you go back and watch the match, there's a spot towards the end where Javon Evans is shoved off the rope like a slingshot by Trick Williams, and he's supposed to clear the table and land on the announce table flat and break it safely. But it was very reminiscent of when Shawn Michaels did the moonsault at WrestleMania 24 when he was trying to face Ric Flair and he hit his ribs. I'll be very interested to see if this kid is going to be on the IR for a little while because that looked very painful. Again, big ups to him. He finished the match. He completed his spots, but that looked really painful. And, Sean Spears was over. It was in Toronto. Very over. That's why they were chanting 10. Ethan Page the crowd wasn't as rabid for him as I thought they would be in Canada. But I mean, I guess it's Sean Spears territory, so makes sense. Trick is extremely over. He's, I would argue, the most over person we've seen in NXT in a very long time, outside of Adam Cole, Bebe. And the crowd loves him. They just get right behind him. It's really hard. He's infectious. It's hard not to get swept up. Mello, you can argue, is maybe the superior athlete, but Trick has everything. He has the package that a WWE, prototypical WWE superstar is made of. And it's very telling. He's going to go real far. Just don't rush him up there. However, Javon Evans has really impressed me tonight. I am never a big fan of kid wrestlers, as I like to call them, like the skinny guys who are just running around and spot monkeys. I mean, I affectionately refer to him as a spot monkey. I coined that term from Ric Flair. I borrowed it from the Nature Boy. He proved me wrong tonight. He's not a spot monkey. Kid is very, very good at what he does. Very aware at what he does. Not like he's not a Ricochet. He's not out there for a highlight reel. He's good. He's a storyteller. That's a difference between spot monkeys and professionals. He's a storyteller. Darby Allin's a crash test dummy. This kid is a storyteller. He can do stuff of the likes of like Logan Paul, which is pretty impressive at 20 years old. It's, going to be interesting to see where he goes. I would assume we might be getting a Trick and Javon match out of this, only because Javon ate the pin loss from Evan Page, which makes sense kayfabe-wise and storyline-wise because it's the easiest low-hanging fruit for a Page to attack, right? He's not going to take out the champ. A Fatal 4-Way, never even usually in a loss, the champ doesn't usually drop and take the pinfall. It's somebody outside. But the cool thing was Trick is usually an offensive, bombastic kind of champion. He was on the defense most of the time. And there was some really, really tight 2 counts that he had to be in at just the right time to break up. Otherwise, the ref would have been forced to count 3. And both times Trick did it. He did it fantastic. Great camera angles, great production, great match layout. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Rightfully so. It was definitely the highlight of the weekend wrestling-wise for me. It was just, a thrill ride from start to finish. And NXT has been good and bad. They have so much talent. They have so much to offer. But has never truly achieved the heights of the Triple H NXT era with the original Black and Gold. I think it has a lot of potential to get there. And Trick is like Swerve. I think he can drive that bus. I think he can do it well. Even as a former champion, I think he's going to still be the face of NXT. I'm very happy that Page is getting his due. He's a talented wrestler. He's a toy collector too, so shout out to him. I mean, I've got a soft spot for that, obviously. But he's been there a long time. He's been in the game. He deserves his flowers. He's very good at being a heel. He's a smart worker. I think he deserves a short run. Do I want to see him go on a very long tear, a la MJF? No, I don't. I would rather see Trick get it back sooner than later. But I have a feeling maybe we might get Joe Hendry. Who knows? Say his name and, well, you know the rest. But I have to say, I caught half of this pay-per-view, and both results I was very happy with. I'm happy with Page. I would have been extremely happy with Trick too. Those were the only two I wanted, so I win either way. That's always good. And then Roxanne, thankfully, kept it from Lola Vice. Now, people are entitled. You're all entitled to your opinions. Some of you guys might be Lola Vice marks. Personally, I don't see it. I don't get it. She's bland as toast. She's god-awful on the mic. The MMA thing just doesn't do anything for me. Roxanne is like an Alexa Bliss and just an ass kicker that you don't expect, and it's really a joy to watch her be a heel and go on this run. So without keeping this a super long tirade, I don't really have a lot of thoughts other than this really overachieved tonight. So on our bipolar Smart Tank Revolution rating scale, I mean, I feel criminal giving it less than a 3. I feel like, but I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, only because I was so disappointed with wrestling this weekend. Money in the Bank, you know who you are. If you guys enjoyed that, great for you. I'm going to give it a 3.5. It's a 3.5, but it could edge to a 4. But the last 4 I gave was Ospreay and Swerve, and that is a tough nut to crack. So those are my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Cannot wait to get Donnie back on the horn. Thank you for putting up with my voice. I hope that my thoughts intrigue you. I hope you have some kind of counter opinion. And please get engaged. We are making a push to put out more content and grow this channel and get a lot more involved in the community, as it's finally now time and we are allowed to open doors a little bit more than they were before. So, as always, really appreciate the support. Thank you for everything, and enjoy.